It's been a while since I have incorporated Demi into my makeup routine on a video. So this is my 3D foundation by SEINT, if you've never heard of it. And then these are my Demi colors, which is a color science makeup that filters things out in your face. Basically, you're putting a complementary color on a color you see on your skin and you watch it vanish. And since I have some sun damage, I was thinking I'll use my 3D in certain areas and then I'm going to use Demi on those areas, and then I'm also going to use Demi under my eyes. But for the rest of my face, I'm going to use 3D just to show you how you can incorporate both into your beauty routine instead of feeling overwhelmed that you necessarily have to do one or the other, or do your whole face with Demi, which can seem definitely overwhelming, but it can be done. I love it. I love both systems, and this is basically what I've been hearing called the hybrid. I'm going for a light application, so I'm using the blend brush and I'm putting this on my contour because I'm going to contour first. I just want to sculpt the shadows in my face. That way I'm using less of my highlight shades, less Demi, less makeup, which is awesome to use less and still get coverage, still filter things that bother you, and sculpt where you do like. Now that I have contour framing my face, sculpting out my cheekbones and my jawline, I'm going to use bronzer. This is called Tan Lines. It's one of the new bronzers, and it's really good if you're my skin tone. What I love about our bronzers is they're sheer. There's no coverage. It's just, you can see, it's just adding some warmth. It's blending my contour, and I love it. And it warms up the neck really well. See how you can see that just getting warm, but it doesn't look a thing like makeup at all. See the difference? Switching now to this color correcting shade, I'm just going to add a little bit of this in some key areas just to show you don't have to put makeup everywhere. When I get to my pores, I'm actually not going to put anything there. I'm just going to use Demi on some of these areas on my pores. That way I don't have to put any makeup really. It's just going to be a filter of a dot. Literally a dot of Demi will do so much. Just a little sweep of that color correcting here. This is very, very minimal makeup for sure, but still giving me coverage. Okay, over here I'm not going to go on the sunspots. I'm just going to kind of tap around where I want to even out that skin tone a little bit. And even on the jawline, I'm going to go ahead and clean up under the contour a tiny bit. See how that just brightened underneath there and made that contour pop? That's my goal with this. Just a teeny bit of product just to make that contour pop. But the spots like here and here and here, and maybe right here, I'm going to use Demi. So nothing other than that will be on my jawline. Then I'm going to neutralize this redness here with the same color correcting color. Just barely tapped into that. And you can see how when I take that color and just kind of neutralize it a little bit, that I don't need to add makeup around it. It just brightened up enough. I don't have to add any more makeup here or here. Okay, after I contour my nose, then I'm going to get into the Demi, because I feel like now all of my things that stand out to me are really standing out now that I've taken care of other things. And a tiny bit of brightness right there. Then flip over the brush and just give it a little blend. All right, let's get into Demi. I went ahead and put on my eyes and my lips, and we're just going to focus on Demi now. So right here in the inner corner of my eye, this part is dark, so I know it's got blue. Anything that's darker than your skin, this has blue in it. But it also has like a touch of a little bit of vibrancy to it, which means there's some purple in it, and that is why I'm going to use Y01. So the Y is yellow and the O is orange. They are the opposites of the blue and the purple. So putting the opposite color on the darkness, only on that dark spot, nowhere else, will just make that go away, and then it just blends with the skin around it. So this bag line, see how it's dark and shadowy? So I know it's blue, but if I zoomed in on this right now, you would see there's freckling and sunspots which have an excess of green. I'm going to use RO3 because it's pretty dark, and this red orange will filter out the blue and the green because they're the opposites of those two colors. I'm just going to stick right on that shadow. I'm actually going to use my phone. See if I can do it in my phone. Just touch that line of darkness. So now you can see that as it's brightening up, this little pocket pops up right here, and that spot is getting darker by the second. But I'm going to take care of this with some RO1. It's not as dark. It's got some green and blue because it's shadowy and muddy looking. And then I'm going to put a little bit of YO1 out here. Okay, now we're finally going to attack this. This is a new color I just got right here. It's called O3. So it's an orange with a level of a 3, so it's a darker orange, and this has a lot of blue in it. It also has some green. So I'm going to go with the darkest pigment in it, which is the blue first, and see what we can accomplish with O3 on it. Notice I'm only touching the dark color in it, not going off of it at all. So look, just putting the O3 on it, how much color that took out. So a little bit is left. I'm thinking that's more in the green range, so I'm going to use an R just to touch the little bit of the shadow that I still see, and it's kind of hard to see right now. It's raining today, and really when I do Demi, I need some good lighting. But I feel like that looks pretty darn good. This spot here is a little bit of a scar, so it's got some purple in it, a little bit of blue because it's dark. I'm going to use YO1 and just touch this, and this is in the pore area. This is the only spot in all of my pore area that I'm going to filter away. And I'm just using such a minute amount that I don't even need to blend it, and it went away. Look at the difference in the two eyes. I put a tiny bit of setting powder under it, this one, and there's barely any makeup at all under this eye. Isn't that shocking? You just don't need a lot of makeup, Demi. It's just putting the color on color to filter those things away. I don't need my eye to look perfect. This to me looks very natural and just took away some of the things that were standing out. And I'm going to do this eye. I keep going back and forth between these two brushes. This one is called the spot brush, and this one's called the bright brush. So I'll just show you the difference in the tips of them. So when I need to be precise and get a small little spot, this one's awesome. And then when I have something a little bit bigger, then I use this fluffy end, which I'm going to use this on here. But right here, see how that looks like a shadow? That means it's blue. And I'm using the spot brush, and I'm just going to barely touch the blue. And that's really all you need to know, is if something looks shadowy, it's got an excess of blue. And I have other videos on Demi, but look how that just went away. I have other videos that go through how to identify color on your face, all kinds of things on Demi, but I just wanted to incorporate both today for you. These look shadowy too. I'm just going to barely touch just the spot with the orange. See how this spot and this spot here, they look dark, so you know they have blue, but see how they have a little bit, it looks almost reddish? That's purple. I'm going to just barely touch those with YO1. And it's gone, and that's it. I know this is so up close and personal, but there's no makeup here on my pores. I only touched those couple dots, and there's no filter. This is natural light. All right, so let's do the big one. All right, I'm going to go for the darkest parts, which are going to be the most blue. And I'm just tapping with the orange 3, so 03, just on those darker points of it. I switched to the fluffy brush now, and I'm just going to barely touch like that. I'm just barely tapping where I see a little bit more of that shadow. And this wouldn't take so long, except that I'm doing it in my phone, so you can see up close how that sunspot is just going away. All right, let's do this one. See how when I pull back, you can't even really notice them anymore? That's huge. The tiniest amount of makeup, the biggest results. It's shocking. Okay, this one is the darkest, so I'm going to zoom in and just start touching this with R03 first. This is hard for me to do on my phone because it's on the side of my cheek. So I'm gonna look down in this mirror while I show you. I'm tapping. This is R05. That's what I was just using on it. I think I said R03, but I meant R05. And this is the multitasker brush. So this one's a little bit bigger and thicker, and so I can press into that bigger sunspot. So I touched it with that. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the 03, which is this in orange, level 3, tiny bit. Okay, touching a little bit of shadow remaining. This is so tricky to fold. I'm looking at you. I swirled anything that was on this off, and I'm literally just going to pat on top like this. And you can see how it took that dark color away. Love it. It's like magic. Demi's seriously like magic. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of color to my cheeks, and then we're done. And I'll show you the color that I love to use on my cheeks when it comes to Demi. It's actually one of the ones I just used to spot treat. I'm using the same brush I started with, the blend, and I'm pressing into this R05 and wiggling my brush around in there. Okay, I got some on there. Just gonna add a little bit here. Just like a natural looking flush right there. And then a little bit right here. These are the colors I used today between 3D and Demi, and I am Demi certified. I'm so happy to help you get started. If you love more natural makeup, but you want to filter out the things that bother you, then definitely message me or go to the color match form that's in my bio. But I didn't even go back and add any makeup here, nothing. And I only covered those couple of spots there. It's so minimal, but doesn't it look really natural and pretty? And mostly it's skin. So thank you for watching. Let me know if I can help you in any way. Bye. Have an amazing day.